Are you looking for a new gaming laptop under $1,500? Then you're in the right place. In this video, we are diving into the best gaming laptop you can get in this price range. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. The laptop that impressed me the most is the ASUS TUF Gaming A16 with a model number FA607PI-AS94. As you can see, it's currently priced at $1,499.99, which is right at our $1,500 limit. However, you can regularly find this laptop for under $1,450. The lowest price in recent weeks was $1,300, so it's worth checking regularly to snag the best deal. The processor in this laptop is the AMD Ryzen 9 7940HX. This is a processor with 16 cores and 32 threads based on the Zen 4 architecture. The performance cores can reach a maximum boost clock of up to 5.2 GHz with a base clock of 2.4 GHz. And I bet you're already bored because this stuff doesn't really matter to most of us, right? What's important is that this is a powerful processor capable of running multiple programs simultaneously without any issues. So you can watch videos and game at the same time without a hitch. And crucially, it ensures that the graphics card isn't bottlenecked. And that's exactly the case here. This laptop comes with the NVIDIA RTX 4070, and I want to get straight to the point here. How many FPS can we expect in different games? To answer that, let's dive into the benchmarks. The finals at 1440p epic settings with DLSS on auto gives 112 FPS on average and a 1% low of 54 FPS. Amazing, right? Far Cry 6 at 1440p ultra settings runs at 65 FPS on average with a 1% low of some 38 FPS. God of War at 1440p ultra settings gives us an average of 59 FPS with a 1% low of 41 FPS. By the way, we are currently in the process of developing our own video game for PC. More about that at the end of the video. Days Gone at 1440p very high settings runs at an average of 91 FPS with a 1% low of 45 FPS. A beautiful rendition of the game. Horizon Zero Dawn at 1440p ultimate quality gives us an average of about 76 FPS with a 1% low of 52 FPS. Apex Legends at 1440p ultra settings runs at an average of 144 FPS with a 1% low of 58 FPS. Baldur's Gate 3 at 1440p ultra settings runs at 85 FPS on average with a 1% low of some 50 FPS. Lies of P at 1440p best settings gives us 125 FPS on average with a 1% low of 84 FPS. Not bad. Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1440p ultra settings spits out 81 FPS on average with a 1% low of 44 FPS. Valorant at the highest settings spits out over 400 FPS on average. Now, to sum it up, as expected, the NVIDIA RTX 4070 has no issues playing all of these games, often hitting anywhere between 150 to even 500 FPS in games like Valorant, which is just crazy. Even at a 1440p resolution, this card handles everything with ease. Now let's talk about the display. It's a 16-inch QHD Plus IPS level display with a 16:10 aspect ratio. The display also features anti-glare technology, 100% sRGB coverage, and 75.35% Adobe RGB coverage, with a refresh rate of 165 Hz, G-Sync, and a MUX switch with NVIDIA Advanced Optimus. So, in other words, this display is designed for smooth and responsive gaming. Now here's a plus. The 16-inch display is still portable enough to be carried around compared to larger laptops. And if the display isn't enough, you can always connect a 4K display with 120Hz refresh rate via the HDMI 2.1 port, which I recommend if you have a dedicated space at home for your laptop. And if you're also searching for a secondary monitor to pair with your laptop, then I recommend this one, the LG 27GL83A-B Ultra Gear. This laptop comes with 16GB of DDR5 5200 MHz RAM using 2 SODIMM modules. The maximum capacity is 32GB, so you have the option to upgrade whenever necessary. While 16GB is more than enough for gaming and multitasking, you might consider expanding if you plan on intensive tasks like video editing or 3D modeling. Now, this laptop comes with a 1TB PCIe 4.0 NVMe M.2 SSD, which means up to 7 gigabit per second transfer rates. This means Windows boots up in just a few seconds and load times are barely noticeable. Once you experience this kind of speed, you won't want to go back ever. With 1TB of storage, you have plenty of space for games, applications, and files. I don't think you'll need to upgrade that anytime soon. These are all the ports and connectivity options available. I won't go through each and every one of them, but the key point here is that you have HDMI 2.1. This means you can game in 4K at 120Hz on an external monitor or TV. What I find really cool is that a Windows 11 license is already included. This means you can unbox the laptop and start using it right away without having to buy a license from some shady website. If you're convinced, then go ahead and scan this QR code to check the current price. If you purchase the laptop through our link, we'll receive 1 to 3% of the purchase price at no extra cost from you. We'll use 100% of the money we earn towards developing our own video game. Thank you for your support. This has been Marty, and I'll be seeing you on the next video. Cheers!